On the Global TV News Express, First Lady Remi Tinubu donates 1 billion naira to support tuberculosis initiatives and advocates local vaccine manufacturing. In business, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission adopts a new tariff tool for mini-grid regulation. On the foreign scene, Francis Macron names Francois Bayrou as Prime Minister. In sports, Nigeria and 6 others get first-round pass for 2026 WAFCON qualifiers. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Anthony Momodu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Niconsat. Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has donated 1 billion naira to support tuberculosis initiatives across the country and advocated for local vaccine manufacturing. The donation was announced by the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Muhammad Pate, via his X handle. The contribution was made during the high-level event Political Leadership to End Tuberculosis, which took place alongside the 38th board meeting of the Stop Tuberculosis Partnership Global. Lagos State Special Offences Court in Ikeja has set January 7, 2025 to decide on the objection raised by former Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele regarding the $4.5 billion and 2.8 billion naira fraud charges brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Emefiele, along with his co-defendant Harry Omole, is facing 26 counts filed by the EFCC before Justice Rahman Oshodi. Emefiele's lawyer, Olalekan Ojo, SAN, argued that the court lacks territorial jurisdiction to hear the case in Lagos. He contended that the alleged offenses, including abuse of office, were committed outside the jurisdiction of the Ikeja Special Offences Court. The Attorney General of Lagos State and the Commissioner for Justice, Lawal Pedro SAN, says the Human Organ and Tissue Transplantation Bill has been signed into law to prohibit illegal organ harvesting. Pedro disclosed this at the Ministry of Justice in Alausa, Ikeja, while briefing newsmen on the significance of the new law and other 4 new laws. According to him, the state governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, signed the new laws to show commitment to the welfare, security, and prosperity of every Lagosian. And still in the news, the Senate has directed the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, to immediately halt all ongoing property demolitions in Abuja. This resolution followed concerns over alleged irregularities and hardship caused by the demolitions. In addition, the Senate summoned the minister to appear before an ad hoc committee formed to investigate the demolition activities. The committee, chaired by Deputy Senate President Senator Jibril Barua, has been given 2 weeks to submit its findings. In order to alleviate the suffering of flood victims across the country, the federal government, through the Ministry of Regional Development, has handed over palliatives to Imo State government to support victims of flood and other vulnerable groups. The presentation in Owerri was led by the Minister of Regional Development, Abubakar Momo, with the Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, receiving their items. Our correspondent, Amarachi Ibe, has the rest of the story.
Presenting the palliative to Governor Uzodinma, the Minister of Regional Development explained that the intervention is targeted at alleviating the plight of flood victims and the less privileged in the state.
I welcome you to this symbolic presentation of palliative items to the people of Imo State. I made a presentation to the President and he graciously approved that palliative items ranging from rice, beans, mosquito nets, and what have you, the idea here today is to symbolically present this item to the people who are, of course, we are affected and those who are also in need.
Governor Uzodinma, in his response, commended the federal government for the timely support and pledged that the palliative would be distributed to the intended beneficiaries.
So we received this with warm hearts, right thanking you for being able to do this, and also charging the committee, because the idea is that this thing has a target. The work of the committee is to ensure that this gets to the people who are affected by the flood. And if it is done and done well, the donors will be happy. Those who receive these materials will also be happy.
The high point of the event was the symbolic presentation of relief items to some beneficiaries. The federal government's gesture highlights its commitment to supporting states in crisis and ensuring aid reaches the most vulnerable. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
The immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, pleaded not guilty to the 18-count charge brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The charge is bordering on money laundering, breach of trust, and misappropriation of public funds to the tune of about 80.2 billion naira. After the charge was read to him, Bello responded that he was not guilty of all 18 counts. The Independent National Electoral Commission has announced plans to seek an amendment to the Electoral Act 2022 to clarify issues surrounding result management, particularly the manual transfer and electronic transmission of election results. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu closed this during a meeting with resident electoral commissioners in Abuja. He said that the proposal is one of the 8 legislative changes arising from the 2023 general elections that require National Assembly action. The Adamawa State House of Assembly has denied claims that its newly passed law for the creation of additional chiefdoms is designed to remove the Lamido of Adamawa as chairman of the state's traditional council. Addressing journalists, the chairman of the House Committee on Information, Alhaji Musa Mahmood, representing Mayor Bewa constituency, dismissed the allegations as baseless and rooted in ignorance of the law's provisions. Mahmood pointed out that the new item introduced in the bill was the creation of zonal traditional councils, the North, Central, and Southern Traditional Councils. Stakeholders in road safety have rallied support for the formation of a special armed squad for the Federal Road Safety Corps. It was reported that the stakeholders made their position known when they appeared before the House of Representatives public hearing on a bill seeking to amend some sections of the Federal Road Safety Act 2007 in Abuja. They called for a speedy passage of the bill without recourse to sentiment, adding that it was long overdue. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Pate, says the federal government is in the process of pool procuring essential medicines to ensure quality, availability, and affordability of drugs in public facilities. Pate made the statement in Abuja at an event held in commemoration of the Universal Health Coverage Day. He noted that the 3-year presidential initiative for unlocking the healthcare value chain was unveiled a year ago to save lives, reduce physical and financial pain, and produce health for all Nigerians. United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization says for the second straight year, conflict zones have proven dangerous for journalists and media workers, with 2024 seeing at least 68 deaths in the line of duty. More than 60% of these killings occurred in countries experiencing conflict, the highest percentage in over a decade, according to UNESCO new data. The report highlights that 42 journalists were killed in conflict zones this year, including 18 in Palestine, which recorded the highest toll. The Sokoto State Police Command has arrested 2 individuals, including a dismissed Army officer, Austin Anthony, for alleged car theft. During a press briefing, the command spokesman, ASP Ahmad Rufai, said Anthony, previously dismissed for losing custody of a Boko Haram detainee, was paraded alongside his accomplice, Mansour. Anthony reportedly used a military uniform and a fake rank of major to evade arrest. Rufai said the suspect admitted to being involved in a car theft since his dismissal and had previously been arraigned for a similar offense in August 2024. The Nigerian Navy Oguta Naval Base has pledged tight security for the people of the Eziosu community in Oguta local government area of Imo State during the upcoming Yuletide season. This assurance was given during a free medical outreach organized by the Navy in line with the Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala's ambition to promote the health and well-being of the residents. Correspondent Amarachi Ibe was there for Global Television.
In his address during the free medical checkup, the commanding officer of the Oguta Naval Base, Commando M.B. Sanusi, represented by the executive officer of the Oguta Naval Base, Commander Okeme Anthony, assured residents of the Navy's readiness to safeguard lives and property during the festive season.
This was aimed at fostering a better civil-military relations. Naval Base Oguta is really impressed with the turnout. We had over 300 persons for this medical outreach. But we are sure the good people of Eziosu community that they will be safe. The Naval Base Oguta would ensure constant presence around here to make the season very enjoyable and peaceful and secured for them all.
The Navy's free medical outreach exercise provides a range of services, including blood pressure and blood sugar checks, consultations, distributions of essential medications and insecticide-treated nets. Many beneficiaries expressed gratitude.
I am very happy for the arrival of the mobiles for general treatment for our children and for the old.
I am very much excited because this is the first of its kind. Since 50 years ago or thereabouts, I've been in this community. I've never seen this kind of gesture.
Students from Eziosu Community School also benefited from the outreach, receiving sanitary pads, body spray and writing materials to support their hygiene and education.
The free medical checkup, everything that they have done, I pray that the Lord Almighty will replenish all the finances which they have used in coordinating this program. I pray that the Lord will replenish.
By the Navy in our community, it's a free giving day of medications and other gifts for students. I'm very much happy to receive a gift from them, and here is my gift. I appreciate our efforts so much.
As the Yuletide season approaches, the Nigerian Navy's proactive efforts in Eziosu and its environs highlights their commitment to ensuring a safe, healthy, and joyful celebration for all. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
You're watching News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. When News Express returns, federal government threatens to demolish illegal structures on Lagos shoreline. Details of these, as well as foreign and sports stories, coming right after the break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from the break. In business. Power generation rose to a high of 3,624.34 megawatts following the restoration of the national grid by engineers of the Transmission Company of Nigeria after the grid collapsed the preceding day. It was also gathered that the federal government had to intervene in tackling gas supply to generation companies after suppliers of the product reportedly halted gas supply to Gencos due to a debt of about 2.7 trillion naira. It was also reported that the gas producing companies had abruptly stopped the supply of natural gas to power generation companies for electricity production over the non-payment of debts accrued from previous suppliers. The board of the World Bank Group is expected to meet and decide on approving a $500 million loan to Nigeria to boost rural access and agricultural marketing in the country. According to information obtained from the Washington-based institution, the loan is for the rural access and agricultural marketing product scale-up. It is designed to bridge the gap between rural communities and the broader marketplace, facilitating smoother access to agricultural markets, schools, and hospitals, and promoting social cohesion among rural populations. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has announced its formal adoption of the African Forum for Utility Regulators mini-grid tariff tool to ensure fair and efficient pricing. In a statement the NEC issued on its official X page, it was noted that the tool was developed through the collaboration between the Commission and the AFUR, as well as other key stakeholders in the energy sector. The AFUR mini-grid tariff tool supports the implementation of the amended Grid Regulations 2023 and would enhance the process of determining cost-reflective tariff for many grid projects. The federal government has warned developers on the Lagos shoreline to regularize their projects or face revocation and possible demolition. This was disclosed in a statement by the Director of Press and Public Relations at the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, Salisu Habar. The ultimatum was delivered by the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, following his inspection of the Lagos Lagoon Estates and other shoreline fronts. On the foreign scene, a fire at a private hospital in the southern India killed at least 6 people, police with more than 24 others injured in the blaze. Building fires are common in India due to a lack of firefighting equipment and a routine disregard for safety regulations. All 6 victims were found unconscious inside a lift at the hospital in the city of Dangigul. President-elect Donald Trump sat with world leaders in Paris last weekend to marvel at the restored Notre Dame Cathedral. Armed Islamist fighters in Syria were in jeeps on the road to Damascus, finalizing the fall of Assad. In this split-screen moment of global news, the U.S. president-elect seated between the French first couple still had an eye on the stunning turn of events in the Middle East. He posted the same day on his Truth social network, "Syria is a mess, but is not our friend." He added, "The United States should have nothing to do with it. This is not our fight. Let's play out. Do not get involved," according to Trump. A Chinese businessman described as a close confidant of the Duke of York has lost an appeal against a decision to bar him from the UK on national security grounds. The man, known only as H6, brought the case after being banned from entering the country in March 2023. Judges heard the businessman had formed a close working relationship with Prince Andrew, receiving an invite to his birthday party in 2020 and being told he could act on his behalf when dealing with potential investors in China. And still in the news, the presidents of Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo will meet in Angola for a fresh round of talks aimed at ending the conflict in the DRC's troubled east. Since its emergence in 2021, the Kigali-based M23 militia, which claimed to defend the ethnic Tutsi, has seized the swathes of DRC territory, displacing thousands and triggering a humanitarian crisis. In early August, Angola mediated a fragile truce that stabilized the situation at the front line. But both sides continue to exchange fire, and clashes have intensified since late October. And moving to France, President Emmanuel Macron named as centralist leader François Bayrou as a prime minister, handing him the daunting task of hauling France out of months of political crisis. Bayrou, the 73-year-old head of the Modem group, which is allied to Macron's party, was appointed 9 days after Michel Barnier's government was ousted by the parliament in a historic no-confidence vote following a standoff over an austerity budget. Bayrou is the 6th prime minister of the Macron's mandate after last week's toppling of Barnier, who became France's shortest-serving prime minister and lasted only 3 months. And moving to the world of sport, China jailed a former Premier League star and men's national coach, Li Ti, for 20 years for bribery, snaring one of the country's greatest football figures in a sweeping government crackdown on corruption in sport. President Xi Jinping has waged an unrelenting campaign against deep-seated official corruption since coming to power over a decade ago. Anti-graft authorities took aim at the sports industry in 2022 and have announced a string of convictions for former football administrators this week. Nigeria has been exempted from the first round of the qualifying series for the 2026 African Women's Cup of Nations, which will be hosted by Morocco for the 3rd straight time. Nigeria is the record title holder of the championship, which was won by South Africa in 2022, and also the Super Falcons, alongside other top 6 ranked African teams, South Africa, Morocco, Zambia, Ghana, Cameroon, and Cote d'Ivoire, have received a pass to the second round of the qualifiers. Nigeria's First Lady, and wrapping it up, Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Olurunmi Tinubu, has donated 1 billion naira to support tuberculosis initiatives across the country and advocated for local vaccine production. In business, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has announced its formal adoption of the African Forum for Utility Regulators Mini-Grid Tariff 2 to ensure fair and efficient pricing. On the foreign scene, President Emmanuel Macron named the centralist leader François Bayrou as a prime minister, handing him the daunting task of hauling France out of months of political crisis. And in sport, Nigeria has been exempted from the first round of the qualifying series for the 2026 African Women's Cup of Nations, which will be hosted by Morocco for the 3rd time in a row. That's it on News Express, and it came to you from the nation's capital, Abuja. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and on StarTimes channel 276 and free to air. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NJ. I am Anthony Momodu. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.